I want to do a few stanzas of my favorite rap song, if that's okay.
Yeah, what is the name of the song?
It's called "Dance with the Devil."
Ooh, that one sounds a little bit controversial, but
Well, I'm not gonna say any of the wordy dirts, and none of
okay.
the dirty
As long as
words.
you keep it clean.
I'm keeping it clean, keeping it
Okay.
fresh.
Okay, hit it.
Like that. All right. I once knew a guy whose real name was William. His primary concern was making a million. Being the illest hustler that the world had ever seen, he used to do movie stars and sniff in his dreams. A corrupted young mind at the age of 13, guy never had a father and his mom was a fiend. She would put down the pipe, but for every year she was sober, her son's heart simultaneously grew colder. He started
Oh,
hanging out selling
Oh,
bags in the
that hits.
projects, checking the young chicks looking for hit and run prospects. He was fascinated by material objects, but he understood money never bought respect. He built a
yeah.
reputation because he could hustle and steal, but got locked once and didn't hesitate to squeal. So criminals he chilled with didn't think he was
Mhm.
real. So Billy started robbing guys. Anything he could do, he get the respect back in the eyes of his crew.
His
But when he
crew.
tried to step to him,
Ooh.
guys showed him no love. They
No
told
love.
him any coward can sell drugs, any guy with a gun can bust slugs. They wanted to test him before business started, suggesting doing a bead to prove he was cold-hearted. Hardcore guy was all he ever wanted to be, so he met them Friday night at 2:45.
Yep.
They drove around the project slow while it was raining, smoking blunts, drinking, and joking for entertainment, until they
Smoking
saw a woman
blunts.
on the street walking alone, 3 in the morning coming back from work on her way home. And so they quietly got out of the car and followed her, walked through the projects, the darkness swallowed her. They wrapped her in a shirt around her head and knocked her onto the floor. This is it, kid. Now you got your chance to be raw. Billy yoked her up and grabbed the chick by the hair and
Whoa.
dragged her into a lobby that
Um,
had nobody there. She
whoa.
struggled hard, but they forced her to go up the stairs. They
Whoa.
got to the roof and they held her
Hey,
down on the ground,
maybe.
screaming, "Shut up and stop moving around."
Well,
The
you
shirt
shut
covered her
up.
face. The shirt covered her face, but she
Maybe,
screamed to the clouds.
maybe
So
we
Billy
just
stomped her until he broke in her jaw.
wait.
Them
Maybe
dirty
we.
bastards knew exactly what they were doing. They kicked
Okay.
her until her
Let's.
cracked her
No,
ribs and
you
she
need to
stopped moving.
clean it
No.
up.
Blood leaked through the
Clean it
cloth
up,
and she
fella.
cried silently.
No.
And they all took turns raping her violently.
No.
Billy was meant to go first, but
Okay.
each of them took a
That's.
turn,
No.
ripping her up and choking her
What?
until her throat
Hey.
burned. A broken jaw mumbled
What?
for God, but they weren't concerned.
Uh.
They were done, and she was lying bloody, broken, and
Um.
bruised. One of them guys pulled out a brand new 22. They told him that if she was a witness to what she'd gone through, and if he killed her, there was guaranteed
Yeah.
a spot in the crew. He thought about it for a minute.
Hold on.
She was practically dead, so he leaned over and
No.
put the gun right to her head. Right before he pulled the
Listen.
trigger and ended her life, he thought about the cocaine with platinum and ice. He felt strong
Hold.
standing along with his new brothers, cocked a gat to her head and pulled back the shirt cover. But what he saw made him start to cringe and stutter, because he was staring into the eyes of his own mother. She looked back at him and cried because he had forsaken her. She cried more painfully than when they were raping her. His whole world stopped and he couldn't even contemplate. His
Doctor?
corruption had successfully changed his fate.
Do-
He remembered how his mom used to come home late, working hard for nothing, because now what was he worth? He turned away from the woman that had once given him birth and cried out to the sky because he was lonely and scared, but only the devil responded because God wasn't there. And right then he knew what it was to be empty and cold, so he jumped off the roof and died with no soul. Anyway, that's one of my favorite rap songs, and I think hopefully Coolio can get resurrected by that.
And it wasn't all that bad because I mean,
No.
when he rapped the word penetrate
Yeah.
with rape,
He rhymed
penetrate
them.
in rape, like those kind of rhyme.
No, and who does that?
Ahead of his time.